software-defined company, and that's essentially what a DAO is. All right, so DAO is a company. It's a company defined by software. It is nothing but code. Now, we're all used to this. We've seen this idea kind of grow from software-defined networks to software as a service. A lot of automation. You can orchestrate things, especially with code, like using Maven or Jenkins or Terraform, all the way across multiple cloud installations. We're used to this. But what makes the DAO interesting is that basically now we're taking a look at business processes. So this is basically what I see as the next step in corporate evolution, or at least business process evolution, if not a revolution, in how we manage a business process. So again, we've done this with networks, we've done this with a lot of cloud, and we've done this with a lot of automation. It makes perfect sense to move into the next step of this, which is business process reengineering. So like any other business process, you need to work through exactly what's going to end up happening, right? So rather than people or departments, politics, people wanting to work from home, work remote, whatever is going on, I want you to think of a DAO more like a community-driven company with no central group exercising absolute control over the process. There's no core CEO, there's no core board, there may be a governance group. But that is all going to be defined by software. Software is going to define governance, the reason for existing, any kind of products or services supported, and any kind of interaction you're going to have with external entities. So kind of think about it like a co-op, where everyone who has a stake gets a vote on what happens with the company, and all of that co-op work is just basically a big voting machine as code. Right? So the key to this, again, is that it's expressed as code. This is where the software-defined company idea comes into place, because everything has to be pre-programmed. If it's not programmed for, then that action cannot be taken. Or worse, you'll have an error out and something will break or something will go down. So whoever the programmer is has to know every aspect of the company for this kind of smart contract to work flawlessly. And what they mean by that is that the people the programmer works with have to have clearly defined, here's how we're going to vote, here's what we're going to do, here's what our product is, here's what our service fees are, has to know all this stuff up front so the programmer can do a thing. So this opens up the door to some really interesting business analysis and business process reengineering. Now it has its inherent risks, right? If a programmer makes a mistake, what if there's no good QA or security processes in place? What if something goes wrong, right? Well, your software code just runs. If it was flawed, it's just going to run anyways. Now, sometimes DAOs have run on the bank, and we've seen this, and we'll talk about those later on. But what if there's no central way of shutting down that attack? So there's some interesting mitigation things you can do for just that thing. What if a security flaw is found in the code? Well, the code's immutable. It's on the blockchain. You can't just go back and revise it and issue a patch. You have to be able to move to a whole new update and all the attendant costs of that new update and move the money from one wallet to another wallet. Your old program is still going to be out there for people to use, and now you have to get the word out, so there's some PR stuff. What if there are other dependencies on other contracts? So all those things need to be baked into the process. You really need to know everything about it. It can't be fuzzy. Can't be fuzzy like we do with a lot of software development now. It really has to be very clearly defined. And that's what this course is all about, right? I'm hoping you're going to dig right on in and learn about DAOs, learn about that idea of the software-defined company, how they work, the way they work, and the speed and efficiency that these programs can have to help a company move a lot quicker. And even if you're embedded in old tech, even if you're just using databases, there's a lot of cool stuff out there in the cloud, like Quantum Ledger. There's a bunch of really cool stuff going on in blockchain right now. And that DAO can be a bridge point. You can actually do things with a DAO to bridge old tech and new tech, right? Kind of help your company be faster, stronger, and move quickly to meet market concerns. So I welcome you to the class. Let's go learn some really cool stuff about the software-defined company.